Hello everyone, my name is Vladislav Grant. I'm a tax attorney here in the state of Florida, and today we're diving into calculating the property taxes here in the state of Florida, the topic which actually affects every single homeowner in the state, and understanding how Amendment 5, which was passed in the current election cycle, affects your calculation of taxes coming next year. So before we go into the details of this video, I ask that you put the thumbs up on the button below, subscribe, and put the notification bell on so you don't miss another informational video like this. Now let's dive into how the taxes are calculated in Florida. First, Florida property taxes are based on the assessed value of your property. It is common knowledge the county property appraiser's office would assess the property value based on its market value. Essentially, what would this property be sold on the open market? Now, this is where it gets interesting. If you have a primary residence in Florida, you're actually given protections known as homesteads in Florida. Now, one of these protections is known as Save Our Homes, which limits the increase to a maximum of 3% annually, or the rate of inflation, whichever is lower, on the assessment of the value post your purchase. So the assessed value of your primary home may actually be lower than the market value due to this cap. So what happens next? Next, we apply the homestead exemptions against the assessed value. Now, for primary residences in Florida, Florida offers homestead exemption that reduces the taxable value by $25,000 for first $50,000 value and an additional $25,000 exemption for values between $50,000 and $75,000. The difference between these two is that the second part doesn't apply to the school district taxes, but there are also other exemptions for seniors, veterans, people with disabilities, and more, which would reduce the taxable value even further. So if you qualify for any of these additional exemptions, please be aware of those and check when your bill comes due. Now, how's the actual taxes calculated? After applying these exemptions, we are left with a taxable value, and this amount is actually what is subject to tax. So now we apply the millage rate, which is the tax rate, and here's how it's calculated. The millage rate is set by the local taxing authority, which represents the tax rate per $1,000 of the taxable value. And different authorities will assess different amount of millage rates. For instance, if your property millage rate is 15, it means that you would be paying $15 for every $1,000 of taxable property value. And this is how it works in practice. Now, suppose the property appraiser office assesses your property value at $300,000. After applying the $50,000 homestead exemption, the taxable value would be $250,000. With a millage rate of 15, your tax calculation would be the $250,000 divided by $1,000 multiplied by 15, resulting in a total property tax of $3,750. Now you wonder what happens with that $3,750 of your hard-earned money. Now, the tax collector will collect this property tax and distribute this to the various local government services such as schools, emergency services, and other infrastructures that residents of Florida use. Now you know the basics of how the property taxes are calculated and what the property taxes are intended for. Let's take a look at the newly passed Amendment 5, which was somewhat overlooked due to the controversial Amendment 3 and Amendment 4 that was also on the ballot on the Florida voting yesterday. Now, with the recent passage of Amendment 5, the homestead exemption will now be adjusted for inflation each year based on the consumer price index. This means that if the inflation is, let's say, 5%, your $50,000 exemption, which we mentioned above, would increase to $52,500, which would reduce your taxable value by about this much and give you approximate tax about this much. This adjustment is intended to help homeowners to keep up with the rising property values, which we've seen here in the state of Florida, and limit the automatic increases driven by the inflation. Let's summarize what we learned today. Now, the Florida property tax system involves determining the assessed value, applying the exemptions, calculating the taxable value by applying the millage rates, and then funding the local services that help you live in a safer environment. With Amendment 5 now in place, homestead exemptions will adjust annually for inflation, providing extra relief for the Florida homeowners. Now that you're more aware how your taxes will be assessed on your property, you are more equipped to verify that the property appraiser's office has actually assessed the proper amount against your property. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked this video. I hope you subscribe to the channel and put the notification button on. If you really liked the video, please share with the fellow Floridian. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me at my phone number below. Visit our website. If you have any other questions, please call us directly and we will help you in your tax matters. This was Vladislav Grant, tax attorney, master of tax laws, signing off. Have a good day.